Thanks. I'll get it.
All right, next we have Jason Lachowski, State Advocacy Analyst from AARP Michigan. Welcome, Jason.
Okay. Good morning, everyone. I am Jason Lachowski, and as it was noted, I am the State Advocacy Analyst at AARP Michigan. I'm excited to be here with you today to talk a little bit more about ADUs and build on what others have already talked about. But first, we need to understand who is AARP and why am I here? AARP was founded in 1958 by Dr. Ethel Percy Andrus, a retired educator from California. She went to go check on a retired colleague of hers, and she went to that individual's home, and she didn't find her there. She spoke to the homeowner and said, "Oh, she's out back." That retired teacher was living in a chicken coop because she didn't have access to healthcare or to housing. That action was profoundly impactful on Dr. Andrus, and it's why she went on to form AARP. Today, AARP is the nation's largest nonprofit, nonpartisan organization dedicated to empowering people 50 and over to choose how they live as they age. We have 1.25 million members in Michigan. AARP strengthens communities and advocates for what matters most to people age 50 plus, including health security, financial stability, and personal fulfillment. And as my colleagues know over there at the AARP table, I'm a huge fan of trivia. So if you'll indulge me, does anyone know what AARP stands for?
Nothing anymore.
We've got someone who knows her trivia. So AARP used to be the American Association of Retired Persons, and if it was 1999, you'd be correct. But yeah, American Association of Retired Persons was the original name of the organization. In 1999, it was officially changed to simply the letters AARP to better reflect that most of our members are still working in either a full or part-time capacity. As a nonpartisan organization, AARP does not endorse or oppose candidates for public office or make contributions to political campaigns or candidates. But AARP does advocate at the national, state, and local level on issues important to older adults, including making it easier to save for retirement, improving access to healthcare, reducing the cost of prescription drugs, and increasing and expanding affordable and accessible housing. And that's why AARP supports ADUs both in Michigan and all across the country. So we've already talked a little bit about ADUs. We've heard from our previous presenters, but let's just give ourselves a quick reminder. ADUs, or accessory dwelling units, are small homes or apartments that exist on the same property as a single-family residence. ADUs provide independent, self-contained living spaces with their own kitchen or kitchenette, bathroom, and sleeping area. And you can see, we talked a little bit about the customization. These are some ADUs from across the country, and you can see they're widely varied. Further, as our soon-to-be PhD candidate noted, ADUs come in many varieties. They can be detached structures, they can be attached to new additions, they can be interior conversions like an attic or a basement, they can be above the garage, or they could simply be a garage conversion. Similarly, ADUs go by many names. I put some of them here up. Joan mentioned granny flat over there on the top right. And as Joan noted, ADUs are not a new concept. Calling them ADUs is relatively new, but they've existed for centuries. ADUs exist all across the United States, and they even are in pop culture. Does everyone remember the show Happy Days? Where does Fonzie live? He lives above the garage. That's right. And the popular sitcom Full House. The Tanner family has both a basement and an attic ADU featured prominently within the show. So we've already talked a little bit about what ADUs are, but what are some of the benefits? Well, first, ADUs are a viable housing option for all ages, not just older adults. They offer young people an entry-level housing choice. They enable families to live together yet apart. We talked a little bit about that. I myself as well. My grandmother lived with me from when I was 3 until the day that she passed away in my parents' family room. And it's why I know how to cook and sew. ADUs also provide empty nesters and other homeowners with the option of moving into a smaller space, or downsizing, as it's sometimes called, while renting the larger house or letting an adult child reside in it. ADUs are adaptable to different housing types, income levels, employment situations, and lifestyles or stages. And because they're custom designed and created, like the cottage houses or cottage development we saw earlier, they're able to fit discreetly into all sorts of locations, including suburban subdivisions, walkable towns, urban neighborhoods, and of course, they fit comfortably in large lots in rural regions. Further, additional benefits for ADUs are that they're community compatible. ADUs offer a way to include a smaller, relatively affordable home in an established neighborhood with minimal visual impact without adding to an area sprawl. It provides a more dispersed and incremental way of adding homes to a community than other options, such as a multi-story apartment building. And we haven't really talked about this one, but they're more environmentally conscious. They require fewer resources to build and maintain than a full-sized home. And when built properly, they can offer significant energy reductions in terms of heating and cooling. Of all types, internal ADUs have the lowest building and operating costs. So on a fundamental level, ADUs provide many benefits, but you might be wondering why an organization like AARP that advocates for older adults is so interested in the subject. Well, we've already talked a little bit that older adults want to live and age in place, but let's quantify that. So AARP regularly conducts surveys to better understand the needs and wants of older adults, and one of those is the AARP Home and Community Preference Survey. And in front of you, you see the response from 2018, 21, and 24 to the questions: the desire to stay in their current residence and desire to stay in their community. And what we see over the 3 surveys is that it's consistently very high, that 75% and 73% respectively of older adults want to stay in their own residence or stay in their community, which is really important. In that same survey, AARP asked individuals if they would consider building an ADU, why would they do it? And you can see 55% said as a place for a loved one to stay who needs care, 52% to provide a family member for or friend with a place to stay, 37% to a place for guests to stay, 35% just to increase the value of your home, 33% to feel more secure by having someone close by, 29% to have a place for a caregiver to stay. AARP is similarly advocating on behalf of caregivers. It's a huge issue in terms of supporting unpaid caregivers, and this could be a way to alleviate the need for caregivers by providing a better financial model for them to be able to provide that care. Interesting, you can see the next two, 29, 21%, when you add them together, that's 50% to gain extra income from either renting out the ADU or downsizing into that ADU and renting out the larger primary residence. And then older adults are, of course, civically minded. 13% just wanted to build an ADU to make more affordable housing in their community. So, rules and regulations. How do we actually get ADUs in place? We heard a little bit about this earlier from our GEMS research panel, as well as from Andy and Dave. ADUs are regulated typically at the local level, although there are several states that their legislatures have adopted a statewide law concerning the allowing of ADUs. Michigan does not have a state level law advocate or allowing for ADUs. Therefore, it's up to local communities. Joan mentioned that we have 22 cities that already allow ADUs. Ann Arbor, Traverse City, and Grand Rapids are some of the ones that we've already mentioned. And hopefully, in a few months, we can add Lansing to that list. So, if you're saying to yourself, this all sounds great, I want to build an ADU, I'm sold, what do I do? Well, the first thing you'd want to do is you'd want to contact your local community land use planning or permit office, or search your local government's website for a copy of their zoning ordinances to understand what do you have to do. You're going to want to understand the conditions, permits, and fees that may apply. Andy talked about this in terms of the nuts and bolts of local ordinances and how they're crafted, because many ADU ordinances have size requirements, setback limits. It may require additional parking and parking regulations. Probably the most controversial is the owner occupancy requirement that often comes up, and then whether or not the ADU has to be registered as a rental unit. If they're not allowed in your community, then it's time to advocate. You need to ask your zoning official or local elected officials, can we update the code? And this question came up earlier about model legislation. AARP actually tries to make this easy. We actually have a publication that is a model state act and local ordinance booklet. You can find it on aarp.org for free. You'd be able to give that to your local official and say, here's your starting point. You don't have to learn everything. We've done some of the hard work for you. Additionally, myself and some of the members of our team and our volunteers, we do direct advocacy on advocating for the expansion of ADUs. As Joan noted, we have been working with the Shared Use Housing Network to advocate to the city of Lansing to allow ADUs. And we've been active in this space in terms of writing letters to council, encouraging residents to write letters to council, as well as participating in public hearings. So with that, I want to thank everyone for attending. AARP has tons of resources on ADUs and on our website at aarp.org. They're all free. You can download them, print them off. We've got more discussions about accessory dwelling units. We've got even considerations if you looking to build one, development, and then the State Model Act. So I look forward to answering questions, and thank you for allowing me to present today.